Have you ever said something in anger and regretted it 5 minutes later? Have you ever reacted so fast that you lost control of the moment? Someone insults you, someone ignores you, someone tries to prove you wrong, and suddenly your heart beats faster. Your voice changes, your peace disappears. But what if I told you? Your real power begins when you choose not to react. Most people think power means shouting louder, fighting back, winning every argument. But real strength is quiet. Real confidence is calm. When you don't react, you don't give your energy away. And energy is everything. Imagine this. Someone throws negativity at you. They expect anger. They expect drama. They expect a reaction. But you stay silent. You stay steady. You stay in control. Who is stronger in that moment? The person who lost control or the person who kept it? Not reacting does not mean you are weak. It means you are aware. It means you understand that not every comment deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your response. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. When you react emotionally, you become easy to control. Anyone can push your buttons. Anyone can change your mood. But when you pause, when you breathe, when you think before you speak, you become powerful. Ask yourself, is this argument worth my peace? Is this moment worth my energy? Will reacting make my life better or just louder? The strongest people are not the loudest in the room. They are the calmest. They observe. They understand. They respond only when necessary. Your silence can confuse people. Your calmness can intimidate people. Your control can inspire people. And once you learn this skill, once you truly master the power of not reacting, your life begins to change in ways you never expected. Pausing before you respond is one of the simplest but most powerful habits you can develop. In our fast-paced world, people expect instant reactions. Messages, comments, and situations all demand immediate responses. And yet, the truth is that the fastest response is rarely the best one. When you pause, even for just a few seconds, you give yourself space to think. You give yourself the opportunity to separate emotion from action. Most of the mistakes we make, most of the regrets we carry, happen because we react instantly, without thinking. Pausing is like pressing the reset button on your mind. It allows you to see the bigger picture instead of getting trapped in the heat of the moment. When you pause before responding, you start to notice patterns in your emotions. You begin to see what triggers anger, frustration, or impatience. Awareness is the first step toward mastery. If you notice that a certain comment always pushes your buttons, you can prepare yourself in advance. You can choose how to react rather than being controlled by impulse. Pausing also gives you time to assess the situation objectively. Is the other person really attacking you, or are they expressing their own frustration? Are you overreacting to something small that doesn't actually matter? By giving yourself this space, you create room for calmness, clarity, and understanding. Another benefit of pausing is that it improves communication. When you speak immediately from emotion, your words can be harsh, defensive, or confusing. But when you pause, you have the chance to choose words that reflect thoughtfulness, intelligence, and composure. Your message becomes stronger, more persuasive, and more respectful. People notice when someone responds calmly instead of reacting impulsively. They respect restraint. They are more likely to listen and engage with you, rather than argue or fight back. Pausing also protects your peace of mind. Every reaction we have takes energy. Every emotional outburst leaves a mark on our mood and our day. By pausing, you conserve energy. You prevent unnecessary stress. You avoid creating conflicts that could have been avoided entirely. It's like armor for your mind and heart. You protect your mental space by refusing to hand over control to someone else's provocation. Finally, pausing helps you make smarter decisions. When emotions are high, judgment is clouded. Decisions made in the heat of anger or frustration rarely lead to good outcomes. When you take a moment to pause, you allow rational thinking to take the lead. You weigh options, anticipate consequences, and choose the path that aligns with your long-term goals. This is how leaders, successful people, and wise individuals operate. They pause, reflect, and respond rather than react. They know that time is on their side, that a thoughtful approach is always more effective than a rushed one. Pausing is not about weakness or avoidance. It is a deliberate, conscious choice to step back and regain control. It is about creating a gap between stimulus and response, between chaos and clarity. This gap is where true power lies, where emotions settle, where perspective emerges, and where the right words and actions can be chosen deliberately. Controlling your emotions is one of the most powerful skills you can develop in life. Most people think emotions just happen to them, that anger, fear, or frustration are automatic responses they can't escape. But the truth is, you have far more control than you realize. Emotions are signals, not commands. They tell you what you care about, what matters to you, and what your boundaries are. The key is not to suppress them, but to recognize them and decide how to act. When you control your emotions, you take back the power that most people hand over to circumstances, to other people, or to unexpected events. When your emotions are in control, you stop being a victim of situations. Imagine someone insults you or criticizes your work. If you react immediately, your anger or defensiveness can escalate the situation. You might say something you regret or make a decision based on frustration rather than logic. But if you control your emotions, you pause, assess, and respond intentionally. You don't let someone else's behavior dictate your inner state. You remain composed, confident, and clear-headed, even in the middle of chaos. Controlling your emotions also improves your relationships. People are drawn to those who remain calm under pressure. When others see that you can stay steady, they trust you more, they respect you more, and they are more likely to listen. Emotional control prevents unnecessary arguments and misunderstandings. It allows you to communicate effectively, even in tense situations. You can express your feelings without letting them take over. You can set boundaries without aggression. And you can solve problems without letting stress cloud your judgment. Another important aspect is that controlling your emotions affects your decision-making. Decisions made in anger, fear, or excitement are rarely wise. They may feel justified at the moment, but the consequences often reveal themselves later. By controlling your emotions, you allow logic, strategy, and foresight to guide your choices. You give yourself the chance to respond to challenges in ways that align with your goals and values. You don't waste energy on regret or on undoing mistakes that could have been avoided. Controlling emotions also builds inner strength. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always arise. People who cannot manage their emotions are tossed around by circumstances, reacting to every bump, insult, or setback. But those who can control their emotions remain steady, like an anchor in a storm. They maintain focus, they conserve energy, and they navigate difficulties with calm confidence. Emotional mastery is the foundation for resilience, persistence, and long-term success. It's important to understand that controlling emotions does not mean ignoring them or pretending they don't exist. It means recognizing them, understanding their source, and choosing how to respond. It means not letting fear stop you, not letting anger push you into rash decisions, and not letting disappointment steal your motivation. When you control your emotions, you are no longer reactive. You become proactive. You guide your life rather than letting life guide you. You remain the captain of your mind, the driver of your actions, and the architect of your destiny. Silence is one of the most underestimated signs of strength. In a world that rewards noise, shouting, and constant opinions, choosing silence can feel unnatural at first. Most people think that to be strong, you must always respond, always defend yourself, always be heard. But the truth is, silence often carries more power than words ever could. Silence is not emptiness, it is presence. It is control. It is the ability to remain grounded when everything around you and everything around you is chaotic. When you choose silence, you create space. Space to think, space to observe, and space to understand. Many conflicts escalate because people speak before they process what is happening. They react impulsively, letting emotion take the lead. Silence allows you to pause and absorb the situation fully. You can listen more than you talk. You can notice the intentions behind words, the emotions behind actions, and the deeper truths that others often overlook. Silence gives you clarity that speaking too quickly can never provide. Silence also demonstrates confidence. When someone tries to provoke you, expecting an angry or defensive response, your calm quietness can disarm them. They may feel frustrated, confused, or even intimidated. They realize that their attempts to manipulate or upset you are ineffective. Your silence signals that you are not easily controlled. It shows that your inner peace is more valuable to you than winning an argument or proving a point. People naturally respect those who remain composed and measured, even in tense situations. Another advantage of silence is that it prevents regret. Words spoken in haste can hurt, damage relationships, and create consequences that last far longer than the moment itself. When you remain silent, you avoid saying things you might regret later. You preserve your integrity, your reputation, and your energy. Silence gives you the chance to respond thoughtfully when the time is right, rather than reacting impulsively. It allows your actions rather than your words to carry meaning. Silence is also a form of self-discipline. It is an active choice to maintain control over your mind and emotions. It strengthens your ability to resist external pressures and internal impulses. Each time you choose silence instead of reacting, you reinforce your ability to stay calm and deliberate. This habit translates into every area of life: work, relationships, and personal growth. Those who master silence often demonstrate higher levels of emotional intelligence, patience, and strategic thinking. Importantly, silence does not mean weakness or avoidance. It does not mean ignoring problems or hiding from challenges. It means choosing when, where, and how to engage. It means speaking with intention, not out of impulse. Silence allows you to conserve energy, maintain clarity, and act from a place of power rather than fear. It is a skill that transforms ordinary, airy responses into extraordinary presence. When practiced consistently, silence becomes a shield and a tool. It protects your peace, enhances your influence, and strengthens your mental focus. People begin to notice, even unconsciously, that you are different. Your calm demeanor inspires trust. Your quiet confidence draws respect. Your thoughtful actions speak louder than any argument ever could. Silence is strength because it gives you control over your emotions, your reactions, and your life. It is the power to respond, not react. It is the power to observe, not engage unnecessarily. It is the power to lead yourself, even when others are trying to push you around. It is the power to maintain dignity, preserve energy, and stay focused on what truly matters. Silence is not empty. It is a choice, a strategy, and a sign of inner mastery. It communicates what words cannot. It influences without effort. It commands respect without noise. It allows you to remain calm, deliberate, and effective in any situation. When you embrace silence, you step into a different level of power, one that is quiet, steady, and unshakable. Choosing peace over ego is one of the most important decisions you can make in life. Many people let their egos control their actions. They feel the need to prove themselves, to win every argument, to show others that they are right. But ego is a trap. It feeds on pride, competition, and the desire for validation, it often pushes you into unnecessary conflicts, stress, and frustration. Choosing peace over ego means deciding that your inner calm, your clarity, and your long-term well-being are more important than being right in the moment. When you prioritize peace over ego, you avoid conflicts that have no value. Not every argument is worth your energy. Not every criticism deserves a response. When your ego is in control, you react to every slight, every insult, every disagreement. But when peace is your priority, you can step back, assess the situation, and decide whether it deserves your attention. You don't waste your energy on battles that won't matter in a week, a month, or a year. You save your strength for what truly matters. Choosing peace over ego also protects relationships. Ego often creates distance between people. It makes you defensive, stubborn, and hard to approach. It turns simple disagreements into long-lasting resentment. But when peace guides your actions, you respond with understanding rather than anger. You listen more than you speak. You seek solutions instead of winning arguments. This creates trust, respect, and harmony in your interactions. People feel safe around someone who values peace because they know they won't be met with unnecessary conflict or judgment. Peace over ego also strengthens your mental and emotional health. Ego thrives on external validation, comparison, and competition. It constantly demands attention and approval, leaving you restless and anxious. Choosing peace means letting go of that constant need to prove yourself. It means accepting that not everyone will agree with you, not everyone will like you, and that's okay. Your worth does not depend on their recognition. By letting go of ego-driven desires, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and emotional turbulence. Another powerful effect of prioritizing peace is clarity in decision-making. When ego drives your choices, decisions are often clouded by pride, fear of judgment, or the desire to dominate. But when peace is your guide, decisions are made with calmness, wisdom, and foresight. You act from a place of rational thinking and long-term benefit rather than temporary satisfaction or ego satisfaction. Peace allows you to see situations objectively, to anticipate consequences, and to choose the path that aligns with your goals and values. Choosing peace over ego also increases your influence and leadership. People naturally gravitate toward those who are calm, composed, and confident. They respect someone who can stay steady under pressure, who does not react impulsively, and who can make thoughtful decisions without letting pride take over. Peace becomes a silent power, a magnetic quality that draws respect and admiration without force or loudness. Importantly, choosing peace does not mean weakness. It does not mean avoidance or passivity. It is a conscious, deliberate decision to rise above petty conflicts, to prioritize long-term well-being, and to maintain control over your emotions. It is the ability to respond instead of react, to act from a place of wisdom rather than pride, and to stay aligned with what truly matters in life. By valuing peace over ego, you gain freedom from unnecessary battles, clarity in your decisions, stronger relationships, and deeper inner calm. You step into a life where your actions are intentional, your emotions are balanced, and your focus remains on growth, fulfillment, and long-term success. Responding with wisdom instead of anger is one of the most powerful ways to take control of your life. Most people react first and think later. When someone provokes them, insults them, or challenges them, they immediately respond with whatever emotion is strongest at that moment, usually anger, frustration, or fear. These reactions may feel satisfying briefly, but they rarely solve the problem. Responding with wisdom, on the other hand, changes everything. It allows you to stay calm, make thoughtful choices, and influence situations in ways that anger never can. When you respond with wisdom, you give yourself time to pause and reflect. Instead of letting your emotions dictate your words or actions, You analyze the situation. You ask yourself, what is actually happening here? What is the real problem? How can I respond in a way that protects my peace and moves things forward? This pause creates a mental space where clarity replaces chaos. You stop reacting to the moment and start responding with intention. Every word, every action becomes deliberate rather than impulsive. Wisdom in response also builds respect. People notice when someone remains composed under pressure. When others try to provoke you and you respond calmly, thoughtfully, and respectfully, they begin to see you differently. Your response carries weight. Your voice matters. Your actions are remembered. Anger might get immediate attention, but wisdom earns long-term influence. It allows you to lead by example rather than dominate through confrontation. Responding wisely also protects your relationships. Anger can damage bonds, create misunderstandings, and escalate conflicts unnecessarily. But when you respond thoughtfully, you preserve trust and communication. You can address issues without attacking people, solve problems without blaming, and express your feelings without hurting others. This kind of response fosters connection, collaboration, and understanding, even in difficult situations. Another important aspect is that responding with wisdom conserves your energy. Emotional reactions consume mental and emotional reactions consume mental and emotional resources. Every outburst, every heated response, drains you and leaves your mind cluttered with regret or frustration. Responding with wisdom allows you to channel your energy into solutions, actions, and personal growth instead of wasting it on conflicts that achieve nothing. Your focus remains on what truly matters, not on proving a point or satisfying ego. Wisdom also improves your decision-making. Anger clouds judgment and narrows perspective. It can make small problems seem huge and urgent. A wise response gives you the ability to see the bigger picture. It allows you to anticipate consequences, weigh options, and choose actions that align with your values and goals. You act strategically, not impulsively, and you create outcomes that are beneficial in the long term rather than fleetingly satisfying. Responding with wisdom does not mean avoiding conflict or suppressing your feelings. It means acknowledging your emotions without letting them control your behavior. It means speaking with intention, acting with thoughtfulness, and maintaining control over your mind and actions. Every situation, no matter how provocative, becomes an opportunity to demonstrate calm, intelligence, and maturity. When you respond wisely, instead of with anger, you transform yourself into someone who is unshakable, respected, and influential. You take control of your emotions, your decisions, and your life. You gain the ability to handle challenges with clarity, protect your peace, and create outcomes that serve your long-term goals rather than momentary impulses. Wisdom in response is a habit, a mindset, and a skill that can change how people see you, how situations unfold, and how your life progresses. It allows you to rise above drama, maintain composure, and make every reaction count for something meaningful.